Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good day. So, this video, I decided I wanted to do kind of like a TED Talk, I guess it would be. I kind of wanted to express some of my concerns, emotions, feelings, I guess, with this whole business persona that I'm trying to do. It's not being executed how I had it envisioned, and it really bothers me. It really does. So, I kind of wanted to just lay everything out on the table to y'all and see how you felt. And if you are a business owner and you're very successful, or even if you just started out and you're having success, or maybe you're not, hopefully we can help each other. I guess we'll kind of just jump right in on this. So, I started probably 2 years ago now. I had my garden, my quail, everything was perfect. I thought, you know what, I'm going to make a business out of this. I wanted to be able to have a CSA farm. Well, with us not on a big enough property, and me just starting out, that goal was unachievable at this point. I was producing an abundance of tomatoes, lettuce, cabbage, kale. Like I had enough for my family and maybe three neighbors. So for me to want to start a CSA farm out of my backyard, you need a lot more produce than that. So I kind of did away with that. And I was like, maybe I can just have the neighborhood come over and they can purchase, produce from me. I have my own compost. I've amended my soil. I do no tilling. And then I have my quail. My quail were supposed to be for meat. And unfortunately, I didn't have the heart to do that. Trial and error, hatching out babies and having too many males to females. I tried to cull the males, and yeah, no, I just don't have the heart. I wish I could live this lifestyle of, you know, raising hogs and cows and having my own meat and having goats. Well, for one, we don't have the property for it, but to have the heart to live that lifestyle is one thing, and to actually do it is another. So, and I know these days now with the whole like granny core trend and the homestead trend and stuff, I know that's what everybody wants to do. And when you actually go to do it, it's no. I did raise a hog in FFA in high school. I didn't have to butcher him, but his name was Wilbur. He was a Duroc, and he was the sweetest boy ever. So knowing that I didn't have to process him made me feel better. I also recently wanted to raise hogs. So I acquired two hogs. They were Duroc crosses, and it was great. Fed them. They were the sweetest little things ever. And so I ended up letting them go. I was going to have my other neighbor, who he actually hunts, I was going to have him process them for me. But then my girlfriend, who has a well established farm, wanted to breed them and grow her pig pigs. So yeah, I don't know. It's really hard because I wanted to be able to provide for my family, and it was heart-wrenching to know that I acquired these birds and I acquired these pigs to be able to process and provide for my family, and I can't do it. And like, I don't think people realize that. I don't think, as much as I wanted to grow up on a farm, but I wasn't born into that family, and I desperately wanted to be. And so I strive to have a lifestyle that I want to live, and I can't do it. And that like hurts so bad to know. I don't know why I'm being so emotional over this. Like it just sucks to know that I acquired these animals wanting to provide for my family, and I couldn't man up and like process them. And it it does suck. So anyways, rant over for that. Yeah, it does suck. So I have my produce that the first year was great and abundance. My second year, not so much. And this year, it's July. So March, I started all of my seedlings. I got everything ready to go. My soil, I checked my soil composition, I amended my soil. I don't till. It breaks down the minerals and the natural composition of the soil. So you kind of alter that chemistry in there. So I didn't want to till, but I knew because of my second year, the compost that I received, because I do make my own, I do a black cow soil, black cow compost, I do mushroom compost, I do have some biochar, and worm castings, and then of course fresh veggie, well, not fresh, but like veggie and produce scraps and stuff. So I do my own soil, and at that point I did need extra soil. The soil that I received that was listed as compost was sand, straight sand. So then my soil went from being nutrient dense and retaining water to being a higher concentration of sand, and now the water just, it was not holding water. It was just draining through the soil. I tilled my garden beds. I have 3 garden beds, and then I have my compost pile. So I decided to till all 3 garden beds and to till the compost pile, re-amend my soil with everything that I had done my first year. So this year in March, when I went to redo my plants, everything was great. Everything was growing. My seedlings were shooting up. Like everything was perfect. I was so proud of myself. I was so happy until I took things out of my greenhouse and I put them in my garden beds like I had done the first year. And the sun completely scorched everything, everything. And it was so, of course, heart wrenching. I guess that's going to be like the theme of this little talk here. Yeah, everything just died. I had no like tarp to put over anything. I ended up putting a black screen on top of my greenhouse because the greenhouse was getting so hot that when I added the black tarp on top of it, it was one of those mesh like screen tarps that my seedlings did recover. They did pretty well. But I struggled. So then there was that there was that downfall. So not only me not being able to process my pigs, me not being able to process my quail, my garden failing, I felt like a complete failure because here I am, I started my business. I was like, I'm going to provide produce for y'all. I'm going to provide eggs and quail, and the hog meat was supposed to be for my family, but I was so focused on the future and what I wanted the outcome to be that I wasn't focused on executing my goal properly. So even though my soil was now where it needed to be, I didn't have the shade for the sun. I don't have posts to put up to hang the shades to protect from heat scorching. I mean, so there was that downfall, which I feel like if all I had were those posts, if all I had was that screen, and I'm sorry I keep looking out over, but I'm looking at my garden because I'm just like, I can see it's like so overgrown and I'm just so pitiful. So pitiful. So I got a bunch of free wood, and my goal was to take the beams that came with the wood and dig pull holes and put them in the ground with a little cement, right? Well, then my fiance is like, no, that's not going to work. It's going to look crappy. Okay, so scratch that idea. But I did, however, take it was like construction pallets or something. And so they had these big boards with little 2x4s. And so I did take those and I kind of like did a border around the garden. So that actually looks pretty good. I don't know how long it's going to last, but that looks pretty good. So at least I have that. I feel like if I did have those posts in the ground and I had the net and everything, that would shade from the sun beaming down, because of course they'll still get sun. It is the like screen mesh stuff. I feel like my crops would have 100% thrived if I was able to block a lot of the sun from hitting them. As far as my quail, I decided that I was going to hatch out more and grow my flock and then sell my flock for meat, sell the eggs for because unfortunately I can't do for human consumption, even though they're perfectly safe to ingest by a human. I was going to do, not for consumption, pet food, snake food. So, and even hatching your own out. Of course, you eating them is all on you, which I mean, everybody does that with all these homestead chicken eggs because you legally cannot sell here in Florida. You cannot sell eggs for consumption unless you have a license and go through the FDA because, they know what's best for all of us. So, yeah, it ultimately is up to you, even though we eat the eggs as well. So then I was like, well, now I have too many quail. So let me move my quail from the coop that they're currently in, which is a double decker. It's a 8x4 top, area. And then the bottom we actually closed in because we had ducks and the ducks were just supposed to be pets. And I didn't realize that it was going to be so hard. We don't have a lake and we don't have a pond. Like our property, we're just a little, I don't want to say suburban because we're not, what are we? We have like our backyard is huge. Like our property is very decent considering the new builds that are going up all around us. And you have like, hey, I can knock on my neighbor's door from my toilet. Okay. So yeah, we have a nice sized property, but cleaning out the duck ponds, I had two of them. It was very tedious. Even though the water was great for my garden, it was very hard to keep up with all of it. And unfortunately, we had a fatality. Unsure if it was a raccoon or a coyote or whatever, because we've seen them here in the neighborhood, of course, with the overdevelopment going on. So I ended up sending them to a friend of mine's house. She has like 5 acres, a giant pond. She already has ducks anyway. So they were rehomed over there where they'll be happier. So we ended up closing in the bottom coop and I moved my quail under there. Well, I noticed that all the droppings from the quail above them were going on the ground and it flooded tremendously under there. Like, and that was another issue with the ducks is it flooded in that area. So flies were in abundance over here. So then I moved them to my mother-in-law. She has several aviaries on her property and it was great. They had all that room. Everything was great. Well, then it just rained, like continued to rain, stormed. And I wasn't over there every single day because with them, I was able to give them 2 to 3 pounds of food. It would last a week or more. She watered them for me. But the problem with that is the sandboxes were getting soaking wet. The food was getting wet. The ground wasn't drying. It's a gravel floor ground. So there was an influx of bacteria. My birds were getting sick. And when you're trying to grow a business and grow your flock, having sick birds is not something that's beneficial to you. So then I had to treat all of the birds, relocate some back here, get them in my little coop hospital. So yeah, it was not good. I ended up moving all of my birds back over here, treating all of my birds, getting rid of all of the eggs. I ended up having 2 birds pass away on me from, being sick. And it's that like destroyed me even more. So now not only do I have like this whole business that I'm trying to provide for my community and my family, I've got a failed crop. I've got, I couldn't even process my own hogs. My quail were sick and I had 2 of them pass away. It's just it's all coming down on me. So then I start sewing again and I'm like, you know what? Let's start with sewing. Everything would be great. I made my Bible bookmark. I started doing those. I'm doing the campfire tees. I do bookmarks, cup sleeves. I'm doing bread bags, wax wraps, bowl covers. Like I'm doing everything that I can, trying to get a stock so that I can go to market and see what sells really well and what y'all really like. But then I'm over here like, okay, it's called Plants and Pecks Mercantile. And when I was baking, so I was doing sourdough, which I fell in love with. It's not as complicated as everyone is making it out to be. It's really not. And if you've gotten this far in this video and you want to learn sourdough, I might end up doing another video on that. But I do breads, cookies, brownies, everything everyone and their mother does, okay? And that's what I want to stray away from is I am so tired of seeing, hey, farm stand open, bread and cookies, another farm stand, bread and cookies. Oh, look, bread and cookies. Like, it's so flooded. Everything is so flooded. And with my sewing, there's things that I'm doing that not everyone is doing. Like, everyone is doing scrunchies. Everyone is doing zipper pouches. Everyone is doing makeup bags and keychains and wristlets. And it's like, no, no. And that's frustrating me too, because I'm trying so hard to be different, and I think that's the problem. Is I am trying to be different. I'm trying to provide for my community things that are not flooded, things that they can actually use and not have to go to the Devil store, Walmart, or Target, or TJ Maxx, or, granted, yes, they're still going to have to go there, but knowing that the item is handmade, hand baked, hand sewn, hand raised, to me, that's more important than, like, oh, look at my Stanley manufactured by a company that was $60. Like, if this economy is so poor and struggling, why are we so focused on materialistic items like $60 Stanleys and these lunch boxes and these organization kits and like all of these influencers posting things that are not beneficial to any of us? They get that stuff for free, and we're over here like, oh my gosh, I got to get the latest Stanley cup and it has a cup holder and I can put all this stuff on it and blah blah blah. No, like, no. So I'm trying to be different. So here I am. I'm not really baking anymore because then I started focusing on sewing. I gave up on my garden right now because it is extremely hot outside. And I can confirm that we are now USDA zone 9 instead of 10, or vice versa, because it's 5 degrees hotter. And you can look that up online as well. And I shared a website on that information too on my Plants and Pecks Mercantile Facebook page. So yeah, there's definitely a difference outside. And when you combine overdevelopment and loss of trees and shrubbery and native grass and plants, those plants and shrubbery and stuff, that is not absorbing the sun's rays, the chlorophyll, and everything. I'm just, I don't know. I can't even get on this topic right now because I'm just so annoyed with all of it. But, anyways, so this whole business and this whole rant that I'm not even sure if I'm even in a timeline here with what I'm talking about, because I'm kind of just throwing it all out. Yeah, I just have this business. I started with the cooking, I started with the plants and the quail, and it's like I gave so much stuff away for free. And when you stop giving it away for free and you start charging for your product, nobody wants to buy it. And nobody wanted to leave reviews, and it was so discouraging. So now, like, I'm adding to the list. So now it was the plants, my crops are failing, my baking, I gave everything away for free because I wanted honest reviews, and then nobody wanted to buy anything, nobody left reviews. You know my quail, I'm not even going to mention the hog because that's not even for the business, but my quail, like, it's all of these things are falling apart. And it's been since, what was it, September or something of last year of 2025, that I really was trying to focus and hone in on what I wanted to do. And then January, February, I got my business registered, and I got my website, and I was so excited for everything that I feel like I was more focused on the outcome and my goal and my dream, that I didn't focus more on being patient, working towards that goal. Just like I'm jumping in on this video, I jumped in on my goal, and not in a good way. So I am struggling so hard with this whole business thing because I want it to be great. I'm not looking to make $5,000 a month. I'm not looking to pay off our mortgage. Would that be great? Yeah, of course it would be great. That's a weird question. But I would like to have a little supplemental income. I would like people to be like, hey, she's not making cookies and bread. She's making biscuits and turnovers and, bread pudding and things like that. Like, I want to go to her because she's different, and I like her food, and I like her clean ingredients. I like her raw sugar. And the company that she buys her sugar from is regenerative farming. And like, I want people to know what I put into my stuff, how my food tastes. I want them to know that everything that I sew and make is from my heart. And oh, hey, she's making these campfire teas, which they're not popular yet, but I have a feeling with fall coming up, they're going to be popular. And I want people to be like, oh, she pays attention to the seams in her shoulders and like little things like that. And I guess I'm just trying so hard to show everything off. And I want people, I guess I want people to care about all the things that I do, because people are so in tuned with their phones and with social media, and like it just sucks. It sucks. Like, I'm sitting on the outside. I'm learning to be patient. I've come closer with our God, and I see everyone else and it's like, slow down. Like, go bake some bread. Go, you know, make coffee syrup. Go sew your glasses case. Like, I'm fixing to sew glasses cases because the one that I have is broke. So it's like, I want people to pay attention. No, you don't need to, I don't know, be as crazy as like reading every label and blah blah blah, which unfortunately we're getting to that point. But I want people to be like, that's a good viewpoint to look at. Like, she's using raw sugar and that's going to be healthy, and the company that we purchased this from is better for the environment. And like, oh, she's not buying new shirts, she's thrifting and repurposing, so now we're not contributing to um more landfill and stuff. So to me, like, I just want people to see what I'm doing and what I believe in and what I'm pouring my heart in. And I want them so badly to feel the same way. And you can't force people to see your viewpoint and even agree with you, and that's perfectly fine. But I just wish everyone would slow down. I don't, if you don't believe in God, that's fine. If you don't know where to start with Him, start anywhere. Okay, sorry, we're getting our AC fixed. Yay! But yeah, I guess if if you don't believe in him, that's fine. I do share him in a lot of things that I do. And if that's not something you're okay with, then I'm not meant for you. But if you don't know where to start with him, start anywhere. I just, again, I just wish more people would slow down. It's not, and this goes to this little thing that I wrote in my little book here. Um, so pretty much, it's not that serious. It's really, yes, life is serious, but we have been so, what is it, indoctrinated, or like, we're in such a dictated lifestyle. And I call it a lifestyle because some of us are awake enough to know that this isn't how life has to be. One thing that I really, really love is Matthew 6:34. There's an ant. Okay, so it's one of my favorite Bible verses. So Matthew 6:34 is, therefore do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. So basically, be proactive, not paralyzed, and today is sufficient enough. So when you're slowing down and you're thinking about, what can I do today? I can't worry about tomorrow. That's not even on my plate right now. I need to focus on today. So my whole mindset now is, I'm going to worry about today, because I can't control tomorrow. I cannot control what I'm not in control of. I'm not in control of tomorrow. I don't know if tomorrow's going to come. You never know if tomorrow's going to come. So my focus is today. I'm here, I'm alive, I'm awake, I'm happy, I'm healthy. I have a man who loves me. I have 3 healthy children. I'm doing good. I have a roof over my head. I was blessed to be a stay-at-home mom again, and I am so thankful for that. So today's agenda, we have no AC. I couldn't film yesterday. I wanted to get all of my campfire shirts sewn. So today's agenda is, I have several things that I'm highly interested in and I want to provide to y'all. So I've got my patterns ready. I've got my fabric I'm going to cut out. So all I have to do is sew. So that's what I'm worried about today. My children are with their father. My fiance is at work. My house is cleaned. The AC is getting fixed. dishes are done, dinner is thawing, and that is all I can be in control of today. That is all I can be in control of. I can't control how his workday goes. I can't control what happens when my daughters are not with me. I can't, there's things I can't control. And so it's, I don't want to say don't worry about it, but at the end of the day, why focus on what you cannot control? So today I'm just going to be getting everything cut so that I can sew. And then I did my schoolwork last night. My 2 assignments were due last night at 3 a.m. So basically this morning at 3 a.m. But I got everything done before 9 o'clock. I'm pacing myself with that. I'm getting myself in a routine. And so again, today is all about what I can do today, and what needs to be done is already done. My dinner is thawing, on the stove. My house is clean. My dishes are done. My shirts are prepped. Like, the litter boxes are changed. So everything I'm in control of, I have taken care of. So now the rest of the day is for me to be like, okay, what can I do for my business? What can I do for my shop? And so that's why I love that verse. Again, it's Matthew 6:34. And I really focus on that because my family, I come from a family who worries, especially my grandpa. My aunt, they worry so much. And so I worry so much. But my grandparents have also told me, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. You can't worry about things you can't control. So even though, especially my grandpa still worries about a lot of things, he just wants us to be okay. And I don't know. I really love that verse. And I think that if you're going to start with Jesus, if you're going to start, in the Bible, start there. Because I feel like people are so fast paced these days. They don't know how to slow down. And I think that verse is a very strong verse that when you focus on it, it should really hit your heart, and you should really just hone in on it. Like, yeah, I can't control this. So you know what? I'm going to take care of what I can control. Number one, getting off social media. You don't have to get rid of social media, but stop scrolling. Go read a book. I have so many books I've acquired in the last several months because I took a 40-day fast from social media. Granted, I was still watching like YouTube and Pinterest because I was heavy into my sewing, but I started reading. What on social media? What? You don't want to miss out on a new cup. You don't want to miss out on, a dog jumping over a fence. Like, what is so important on social media that you don't want to miss out on? That's the first thing that you see when you wake up. That's the last thing that you see when you go to bed. I'm sorry, but the first thing I see when I wake up, the first thing I want to see when I wake up is my man beside me. The first thing I want to see is waking up my daughters. The last thing I want to see is me kissing my kids before bed. And I check on my kids twice every single night. I put them to bed, give him a kiss, tell him I love him. I let my dog out. I let him out. I give him a kiss before bed. I go get ready for bed. I shower, or maybe I already showered. Maybe I showered while they were getting ready. And so I wanted to lay down for a little bit. John will watch, like, we used to watch Sea Boys together, but now that's him and my daughter's thing. So he'll watch like his TikToks and stuff like that, which here I am saying, why do you need social media? So for a while I was reading my Bible, or I was reading another book, or I was scrolling, and I still do scroll on Instagram and stuff for sewing patterns and everything like that. But when I go to bed, when I know, okay, I'm really tired, I get up again and I go check on my daughters. I give them another kiss. I give them another hug. I tell them I love them. Even if they're sleeping, I still do all of that. I come to bed and I go to sleep. And I think that's how it should be. And maybe that's not for everyone, and that's fine. But that's just another way of showing you to slow down. Cooking at home, buying food from scratch, or cooking from scratch with, ingredients and stuff. That is something that a lot of millennials these days don't know how to do. And maybe they weren't grown, or, they didn't grow up in a household that did cook from scratch, and that's perfectly fine. But we need to not make it normal that this generation doesn't know how to cook. And that is a huge problem. because it's just aiding in the government taking away of seeded fruits and bearing your own fruit, which is an amendment and it is in the Bible. It's taking away our rights to be able to grow our own food, to be able to cook the food we grow, to be able to go to the grocer and buy a seeded watermelon. And then if we want to grow our own watermelon from it, we should be able to. I have a second watermelon growing right now. We just harvested the first one at my grandparents, and it was super juicy. It's very good. So I have a second watermelon growing from that single seed that has about 6 or 7 vines now. I had 4 watermelons, 2 shrunk. We harvested the one, and I have the other one growing right now. She's about yay big. Um, but yeah, I feel like I want to help provide for people, even if I'm not providing materialistically like fruit or products. I want to be able to provide videos and tutorials on how to cook, how to make buttermilk biscuits. Okay, that is so easy. So easy. Flour, buttermilk, butter, salt. Okay? You grate your frozen butter. You mix it all together. You flatten it out. You do your little biscuit cutter, you bake it. It's literally 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Your sausage gravy, forget Libby's in a can. We don't want canned gravy. You get your Jimmy Dean sage sausage, the best flavor ever. Jimmy Dean sage sausage, okay? You put it in a pot, you like dice it all up right, you cook it. Once it's about near cooked, you take a little bit of buttermilk, whole milk or 2%. We drink 2% here. You pour those two in there. You mix it all up, right? So however many biscuits you made, we love meat gravy. So we always have an abundance of meat in our sausage gravy. Then you take your flour. You know what you do with your flour? You sift it on top. You sprinkle it. Why do you sift it? Because if you just dump it on in there, it's going to be clumpy. And you don't want clumpy flour. You don't want your wet flour on your dry flour to be clumpy, okay? So we sift it on in there, right? That's it. You are done. That is your breakfast. That is your sausage gravy over homemade buttermilk biscuits, okay? How long did that take you to make? Less than me talking. That's for sure. Less than this video. That's for sure. So, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it is so easy to cook your own food. Okay, so what? You have to get up 30 minutes early because you want to cook it for your family. It legit takes 30 minutes to make your biscuits, bake your biscuits, make your sausage gravy, serve it to your family. That's it. That's your breakfast. So it's things like that. I guess it's kind of all about convenience now because you can go buy frozen biscuits, but you're baking the biscuits anyway, so why not just make them from scratch? And you're opening up a can of sausage gravy. You know that there are 2 pieces of sausage in that one can, right? There's 2 pieces of sausage, and there's more water content or whatever in that can than if you were to make your own sausage gravy. So I don't know. Gosh, I don't know. I strive, like I want so bad to show the world that you can do this. You can be patient. You can start your own business. You can sow your own things. You can grow your own produce. You can cook your own food. But then I sit back and I think, wow, I can't even do that. I can't grow my own produce. I can't, harvest my own birds to make dinner. Yes, I can cook and I can sew and I can do all that. But then I think of the negative, and that's another thing is trying to be positive when you feel like you're constantly being set back. And that's what I'm struggling with this business is I'm trying to be so positive, but I feel like a setback because I feel like, okay, so I'm an outsider and I'm looking at this business and I'm like, oh, plants and pecks mercantile, what does that even mean? Where are the plants? What is a peck? What is the mercantile? And the whole thing behind it was growing my own produce to provide to everyone, having birds that could be harvested, pet food, hatched out. And then the mercantile is, I wanted to do this whole P&P pantry and have baked goods and stuff that are not flooded like cookies and sourdough bread. So I wanted to have like a little pantry and I wanted to have useful products like beeswax wraps. You're not using saran wrap or plastic wrap. Bread bags. So you're not having to, use that plastic, which you could still use the plastic. The bread bags, the glasses cases, the bookmarks, because I want to encourage everyone to read. Um, get off social media, get off your phones and read something that's more beneficial than the drama in the news that we can't control, and they're only showing us what they want us to see. And that's what people don't realize is we're only being shown what they want us to see. Yeah, let that sink in, because while you're left and you're right and you're divided and you're only seeing the bad, this world is encompassed with nothing but bad news. Where's the good news? Where's the good news? Because people don't see good in humanity unless a good human does something good to you. I have lost all faith in humanity. Absolutely all faith in humanity. And I don't like people. I don't want to socialize. Being on social media has made me realize that people are a-holes. I can't scroll through a comment. There's this woman on TikTok who I want to reach out to so bad because she's beautiful, she's smart. Her and her husband, they support each other. She is just, I'm going to say her bio, she is just a girly girl doing girly girl things. And all the hate that she gets from people, they tell her, okay, she can't go to the gym or whatever because with how their family is, she's doing other things like cooking from scratch for her husband. And then she gets ridiculed. Oh, well, why don't you just go later? And then somebody says, oh, get one of those walking things. So she gets a walking thing, right? Do you know what people told her? Oh, that's a good ornament. So not only is she cooking from scratch for her family and eating healthy, she does go to the gym, but not faithfully. But she's being proactive and she's being health conscious. So she cooks meals from scratch. She does exercise here and there at her apartment gym. She did get a walking treadmill thing, and now people are telling her that she's not going to do it. So she literally did everything that everyone told her to do, and she's still getting ridiculed. And to me, that's sickening as humans to even, why can't you be proud of her? This woman is posting her life for everyone to see and follow, and she's being very strong about doing that because you people are a-holes, and you don't praise her, but you criticize her. It's like, I want to see your daily life. I want to see what you do. Like, do you get up every morning, take the trash out, make yourself breakfast, go to work, come home, you're happy, you're cooking dinner for your husband or your wife, you do the laundry and dishes. Like, are you happy? Because obviously you're not. If you're going to critique somebody who's doing their best and who's just a happy woman sharing her life, like, to me, that's, you are low and you need help. And that's the problem in this world, is people need help and they're not getting help because they don't want to admit they need help because they know they need help. But instead they want to sit behind and ridicule somebody who is living a life that they more than likely wish they had. And I'll admit, I'll be the first one to say, like, it's a sin to be envious and jealous. And I'm learning how to not. I'm learning how to be like, okay, yes, maybe another example, a woman is trying to diet, but she's not eating exactly the right things. So instead of me saying, oh, well, she's not eating that, she should be eating this, I should be like, oh, wow, I'm proud of her because she's doing something I'm not doing. I want to lose some weight and I should be eating healthier, but I ate 2 bowls of ice cream last night. So I'm proud of her for eating, chicken nuggets and a side salad. Should she have eaten fried chicken nuggets? No, she should have eaten grilled. But that's not for me to judge her at all. Our judgment, God is the only one who can judge you. And so for everyone trying to, I don't know, everyone is so judgy and it's so ridiculous. Like, I am now seeing the positive in everything. She's trying to eat healthier and lose weight, so she got a salad with fried chicken. I'm proud of her because last night I had 2 bowls of ice cream. I want to lose weight, but what do I do about it? Nothing. What is she doing about it? She's doing what she can. She's starting somewhere, and that should speak volumes for you people, because I want to see somebody aspire to do or, want something, and you don't do it. You don't take that step, and she took that step. So that's that. What's another one? Should I keep going on this? I don't know. I'm getting really frustrated now. This was supposed to be like a business talk, and here I am like losing my mind over things. Um, but yeah, so I'm really hoping I don't know. I'm really disappointed that I was all over the place. I was very all over the place with this. But like it does feel good to get it out, whether anybody watches this video or not, or whether it's 10 years down the road and you find this video. Don't give up. Don't lose faith. If you don't have faith, that's fine. As long as you believe in yourself. I just I'm just going to be more patient. I'm going to focus on the things that I can control. And while I still feel discouraged, I'm going to move on from this and know that it didn't work out this time, but I have every day to work on it. So, no, your days are not promised, but I'm going to focus on what I can do today to help me for tomorrow. And I really hope that even though I feel stuck where I'm at right now and I don't feel like my business makes sense and I feel like being an outsider, it's kind of like, what even is this? I want one day for someone to be like, oh, she has the best bread pudding. She has the best buttermilk biscuits. Her sunglass cases has lasted me 3 years and I want to buy another one from her. Like, it may seem so small to y'all and it may seem ridiculous, but at the end of the day, this is my little goal and my dream, and I'm working towards something. And I don't know. I just hope your takeaway from this is Matthew 6:34. And I hope that you find some patience, you pick up a book, you reach out to me, and hey, I want to make that sausage gravy biscuit breakfast that you were talking about. Or hey, I want to know how to make those shirts that you sell. I want to be approachable and I want people to come to me and want to be helped and want to be shown things. And I want a huge community of people who care about people and help people and don't ridicule or degrade, or I don't know. I guess I'm just too positive about things that should be natural. And that's really, really sad. So, thanks for watching this chaotic talk. You'll have a blessed day.